Luphisra here. I'm back to play more LumineNight. I took a break last week because I was sick, but I'm here now. I'm here now to play more of this game. Although, as y'all can probably see, I have to redo this puzzle from the start. Oh dear. Uh, oh well, there's no like save. Like, it's just auto save, so that's what I have to do. Oh, so hello, Morticia. Welcome to the stream. I don't remember how to do this. How did I solve this before last week? I don't remember. I can do this. I can do this. Doesn't matter if it's connected both ways. I hope not. Oh dear. I mean, there's also this side, so. There we go. Ordering Ben and Jerry's because it's just turned to that time of the month for me. You deserve it. Get some Ben and Jerry's. Okay, that was quick. You're done there. Can you help me out here? Okay, yeah, this is the massive one. Yeah, maybe got hit by lightning. Possibly. Oh my god. You have to connect everything. Oh dear. Oh dear. This is not good. It's gonna take me forever. Yeah, that doesn't work. Oh my god. It is gonna be tough. It's a bit confusing, actually. Ah, okay, I got it on the right side. Okay, this site's complete for the blue. No, not right. This has to be connected, like, both ways. Hold on. Okay. Okay, this has to be the blue. Late stream today? A little bit. It's 11:28 p.m. So I did start a little bit later than usual. But not super late though. Okay. There we go. Ah, there it is. Okay. I did it. I did it. I'm still a bit sick. You know, I still have a bit of a sore throat and cough. So if you guys hear me coughing, that's why. Ben, that was it, right? We're done? Yeah, we're done. But what now? I suppose you could come inside before anyone sees you? Ah! Don't scream. They're out there listening. Neil, where were you? Downstairs here, behind this door. The taps started working again, so I figured you two got here. You could at least have let us know. Popping up like that would scare anybody. Sorry. Is the test over now? Yeah, we're running out of time ourselves. Can't make you run errands forever. Follow me, watch your step. It's dark here. Okay, not too hard. Not too hard. That's fine. Okay, wait. I just noticed that you guys weren't hearing anything. Hold on. Ah, there it is. It's a good thing this game doesn't have any voiceover. So, and the music just disappears sometimes. So you guys didn't miss anything. Okay? You guys didn't miss anything. So apologies for the first couple of minutes being having a lack of music. My bad. Why does everyone here insist on being underground? Humans are meant to live breathing fresh air. We're here. Is this a laboratory? Probably. The owner doesn't really like loud noises, so I suggest to keep it quiet. I advise you to keep it quiet. What do you mean suggest? Ugh. Alright, pipe down now, Ben. Ouch. Mary, the detective is here. You're late, Celine. I thought you'd be fine. Wait a minute. Mary is Charlotte? Oh, okay. Must be Mary. She doesn't know her. But because she has never met her before, I think the father. This is the girl who works with the father, right? If I'm not mistaken. No, Charlotte Forrest, right? Oh, she does know her. Okay. Wait, you two really knew each other? I never talked to her in real life, but if she knows my name, I thought that she must be Charlotte Forrest, who performed the autopsy in the case 10 years ago. She knew my dad well. Yes, that's right. Did William tell you about it? Yes, I know you asked for our help, but can you answer some questions for me? I guess you've got a few questions for me. Make it quick, though. Why and when did you start hiding away like this? Neil, what day is it today? It's October 13, 1960. Then I've been here around 9 years and 345 days. Let's say I've been here for 10 years for simplicity's sake. My god, 10 years? Did you call me a crime or something? Abuse of corpse, illegal residency, illegal prescription of medicine. I've committed my fair share of crimes. I suppose this town's sheriff would know all about my crimes. Did William tell anything specific about me? He just said you were a good doctor that my dad trusted. Not much then. I'm glad that at least he treated you well. After all, 10 years has passed already. How do you know that the Summerset Police Department is corrupt? I don't know why it had to be this way, but yeah, he's the sheriff too. Somerset's done for. Done for? What else did William do? Goes back a while. Are you fine with that? Of course. I'd like to learn more. "10 years ago, right around this time of the year, I read the newspaper, and I immediately knew it. Whoever killed Alexander Wayne also killed the police commissioner. Detective Foster asked me to perform an autopsy on the first victim, so I was wondering why he didn't ask for another autopsy on the second. I went to the police station and asked around, but they said they didn't need an autopsy and kicked me out of the station. They also stuck this letter Mr. Bryan wrote in the bin too." Bryan? Is he the owner of the bookstore? That's right. He asked for an autopsy on his second son, who committed suicide 10 years ago. I woke up 1:08 p.m. today. I have to go now. Sorry. It's okay. I'm glad you dropped by, Kev. Did I say hi to you? Maybe, maybe not. But hello, Kev. Good to see you. Even if it's for a short while. You can always watch the VODs later. I'll upload them. But yeah, thanks for dropping by. Have a good day, okay? Okay. He asked for an autopsy on his second son who committed suicide 10 years ago. Stephen Bryan was a promising young city councilor who was known for his bright demeanor. People liked him. He's the one who looked after his parents when his brother committed suicide from the PTSD he got from the war. And one day, Stephen just turns up as a corpse. No way his parents could just take the word for it and accept that his son committed suicide out of nowhere after being blackmailed. Anyway, this letter made me think that something's really off. They could have skipped the autopsy on the commissioner's corpse since it's clear how he was killed, but they didn't have to silence Stephen's parents like that, did they? Unless they had a reason to not perform the autopsy. So the autopsy report that I know it was a crime, but I couldn't just let it go. His parents wanted that too. So that's why you said you were guilty of abusing a corpse. It didn't take long to realize that Stephen didn't suffocate. He was also poisoned. He was poisoned with the same poison that killed Alexander Wayne. So that means it was a third murder, yes? I knew I had to send in the report even if it comes back to haunt me. But then I thought to myself, what if the report goes straight to the bin, just like Mr. Bryan's letter? They said Detective Foster's on an assignment far away, and the only person I could trust was his partner, William Russell. William asked me to come to the morgue that night. As soon as he read the copy of the report, he said there was something about the corpse I needed to see. When I got to the morgue, he knocked me unconscious and locked me in a huge box. What the fuck? Wait a minute, William? Like, Detective Foster got sent away and immediately you turned corrupt? What the fuck is wrong with you? I suppose he didn't think I could find a way out of it. Well, I did almost die, but I made it out in one piece. It was good that I learned how to swim. I'm guessing he threw the box with you out inside straight in the ocean. How could he? And you've been in hiding ever since? The cops would think I drowned to death. So you're like an illegal immigrant of sorts. It was such a relief that Mr. Bryan decided to protect me. I know it would be difficult just believe a total stranger who insists she's a doctor. And what about the cellar? Right above us is Mr. Bryan's bookshop. Have you ever thought of leaving Summerset? That would have been the best choice. I could have went back to my family. But I was curious. I wanted to know who turned Summerset into this mess. At least from what I remember, the Summerset police were people who were trying their best to catch criminals and bring them to the light of justice. A murderer swallowed up the city whole, and I suppose Little Muscle became the sheriff because he was working for whoever that is. I can't believe it. Summerset was under control by a criminal for 10 years. Summerset changed a lot, for the better over the last 10 years, in quotation marks, of course. The quiet seaside town turned into a city of neon sign lights and entertainment. Do you know how all of that happened? And all of a sudden? Well, I've only heard that after the docks were built, companies slowly started moving here from the Pimp's town, and more people were employed. No business based in a big city would gain anything by moving its operation to Summerset. What was behind Summerset's growth was the immense amount of money earned through smuggling drugs at the docks. What? Smuggling drugs? Stephen Bryan worked for the Trade and Accounting Division of the City Council before he died. The murderer killed Stephen because he could have interfered in whatever crooked business he was planning to operate at the docks. How could he? I had no idea things like that happened here. It's only natural you don't. I only found out after I met Neil. I did everything I could to find more information about the murder and got in contact with Luphisra, the docks workers union. The people at Luphisra learned all that by experience. They realized what they were shipping at the docks. We tried to form a labor union and try coming out with a solution, but that Mexicure shit would have been a matter of time for all the dock workers to become addicted. The thing is as to how everyone got to know it was in their arms reach. And that's how everything started at the docks. If only we got in contact with Mary earlier, we could have stopped all this from happening. No use crying over spilt milk. The only reason why I could try contacting you was because of the anti-addiction pills. If that didn't happen, we wouldn't be here like this. But the Gawkers are no more now. We're no use to you anymore, Mary. Well, treatment had to come first after all. And it was some help anyway. We learned a bit more about Taylor Cardwell Scott. Wait, did you just say Taylor Cardwell Scott? Yes, TC. You know him too? Good. I knew Detective Foster's daughter had some of his wits in her. I was collecting information from people who could have known Cardwell just now. How is that related to the docks, though? Cardwell. He was a Glaucus lawyer. A lawyer, I see. Did he look like this? I haven't met the guy in person, so I'm not sure. Is this what he looks like? Well, it's true that he used this face for a while, but according to someone who knows Cardwell well, it's just one of his faces. She said Cardwell always puts on a new disguise whenever he meets people, so nobody would know his real face. But he's a bit more meticulous than we thought. Disguises, huh? Mary, that's ridiculous. We're not stupid. How could we not have recognized him? You already know that only 8 people work on the docks. I'm guessing you wouldn't always run into each other. But if someone among us is in disguise, we would still know. What are you talking about? Cardwell is at the docks right now? It's just what we've heard. I'm thinking that Taylor Cardwell Scott, who must be behind everything, is one of the 8, or actually 4 remaining people in the docks right now. And that's because a total of 3 dock workers have been killed by TCS, including Connor Carter, who was found on the alleyways. What, 3 victims? A few hours ago, I found Connor Carter dead, lying on the alley. There was a wound on his neck that indicated choking. TCS was written on his forehead, too. Before I called the cops, I took one of my pill bottles and put it in the cop's mouth. Why do you do that? I was wondering what the police were thinking about. They were busy trying to keep radio silence, and now they're putting out murder announcements under TCS name and all. If the corpse wasn't the cops doing, the mysterious pharmacist Mary would also be a suspect. That's what I was aiming for. But they didn't mention a single thing about Mary, and just claimed it was TCS. Well, I knew what happened. Can you not use your name when you do something like that? Everyone's worried sick about you. I get to decide where to use my name. Then the thing about how you're framed for murder. I lied, I'm sorry. But I didn't think it was a good idea to tell you everything when I didn't know you'll help me or not. It's nothing to be sorry about. I think it was a good move. I think I would have been suspicious of you if you said you tampered with the scene. By the way, when did you put that letter in her pocket? I heard that a girl was interviewing some homeless folks dressed in Detective Foster's coat, so I asked Neil for a favor. Apologies. Huh, sleight of hand, So after you reported it, it was on the papers. Now, what happened? You said 3 people were killed. I read the article and was thinking what could have happened, and Neil came to see me. He said 2 of his colleagues at the docks were killed, so he had reported it to the cops. And even Connor Carter was a member of the Glaucus who went missing about 2 weeks ago. Missing. Can you tell me more about what happened in those 2 weeks? I honestly have no idea what he was thinking about. Connor used to work on the cranes like I did, and he always said he cut ties with his family. But for some reason, he had a change of heart and said he's going back to his hometown. Maybe it was just an excuse? Maybe if he was found in the alley, it must mean that he was staying in Summerset the whole time. I suppose so. I just don't know why Connor did that. But anyway, after he vanished, it was just like usual for the next 2 weeks. With one less people, we all became busier. But we made it work, sharing work and all. But after I got off work, I found 2 of my coworkers dead. When do you usually get off work? 7 in the evening. Can you explain what you saw in the scene? 2 of them. They're Oliver and Thomas. They were each found dead in the corridors and the maintenance room. We found this on the maintenance room floor. A wire? Look at the handle. Taylor Cardwell Scott. This couldn't be. It doesn't have any fingerprints, but the pattern on the wire matches the wound on Connor Carter's neck. A luminar reaction found blood on it as well. Since the blood sample taken from Connor Carter's body and the one from the wire turned out to be identical, I concluded that this wire was used to choke him to death. So he intentionally dropped the weapon with his name on it, like he wrote TCS on Carter's forehead. What about the 2 people murdered on the docks? Were those 2 people also choked to death with this wire? I think that's what happened to Thomas in the maintenance room. The wire was found right next to the corpse after all. But Oliver, who we found in quarters, didn't have any wounds like that. The fact that even a single victim was killed the same way matters. Hello, Yumikos. You tired today? You should get to sleep. It's getting late. So, it's good to see you. It's been a while. That should mean that the same person killed Connor Carter outside of the docks and 2 people inside. He choked Connor Carter to death on the alleyway using a wire. Then went to the docks with that tool to kill 2 more. You said one of the 4 people on the docks would be the murderer. Is there a reason why you think so? So it's okay, don't be sorry. I understand that, with life and all, it can be busy. But it's good to see you. Also, hello, Mr. Back Gaming. Welcome to the stream. It's good to see you too. First of all, the 3 victims were all Glaucus members. This implies that someone who knew how the dock workers worked and the insides of the docks well committed the crime. Fun thinking, yeah, sure, go to sleep, okay? Had a great night's sleep, sweet dreams. If you're interested, you can always watch the VODs later. Yeah, go rest. Have good rest. You deserve it. Okay, also, since the docks were seriously understaffed, Neil is the only person with a good alibi during the time the crime could have happened, and the other 4 don't. Each person has to do what tens of people would do, to say the least. We hardly see each other while we're working, so you don't exactly know what each of you are doing. I'm more surprised that you all run the entire docks without a supervisor. Everyone who could have left already did. Only a few good people who can trust each other are the only people left. Yes, have a good night. Yumikos. Neil, what's your alibi? Anyone there can hear the cranes when I'm running them. Everyone heard that all day. If everyone consistently heard the noise, that could be a good alibi. It faces the ocean on three sides, and entrance is strictly restricted. The main gate is the only entrance, and it only opens when Thomas presses a button. Thomas also leaves a note whenever the door opens or closes, and we found out that only we were the ones who came inside. So you're saying that one of you must be the murderer, because nobody else who could have come inside. That's right. I'd rather not believe any of us could have done that, but still. Isn't it too early to be sure? You said the dock faces the ocean on three sides. Someone could have taken a boat. Well, we thought so too at first. It's very likely that it was a person who knew the dock workers well. If the victims, Thanks for the subscription. My alerts are not sounding. I don't hear anything. I'm like, why? It's not showing up either. Okay, I'm sorry. Let me just take a look at that for a moment. Hold on. You guys are not hearing anything. My bad, but let me try. You know what? Never mind. I mean, thanks for the subscription. But yeah, Okay, now it's showing up, but I can't hear anything. On my end, at least. Maybe it's the settings. For those of you who don't know, I just got a new rig, new custom built computer, and yeah, monitor is off. I can't hear anything. Okay, hold on. My bad. Okay, you heard it good. I didn't hear anything because I got a new computer and I still have stuff to set up, I think. Yeah, but yeah, thank you for the subscription. Really appreciate it. Don't like the ads? It's okay. Yeah, nobody likes ads, huh? It's very annoying when you're watching like people play and you're very engrossed and then suddenly bam, ads. But thank you. Thank you again. Ew, I don't think so. It looked like Oliver died after eating poisoned stew. A poisoned stew? He wouldn't have eaten the stew a complete stranger gave him. And he wasn't in the situation to be eating anyway. Aaron the chef made the stew during lunch too. So it's not something that a stranger would have fed him. So the conclusion is that one of the dock workers killed the two. What did the police say? Are they on their way? Subbing is better than VPN to Poland. Yeah. That is true. Faster connection too, right? No, they told me that they have many murders to investigate in order and I should go back and wait. That's complete nonsense. They should have at least sent a few officers. That's ridiculous. This is the perfect chance to arrest TCS. They weren't even listening to me. That's why I came here to talk to Mary. I couldn't just go back like that. Yeah, Charlotte could figure out who the real murderer is. There's a trustworthy detective right here, though. Celine, it's you. You're the trustworthy detective. Are you sure Well, it's done. But I'm not a real detective. I thought as much at first when I heard about Detective Foster who found the real murder at Hotel Clara. Huh? How does she know about that? Was it employees at the hotel? Detective Foster, or more like Detective Kelvin Foster. I thought maybe he came back after all this time. But I didn't know you already become such a good detective yourself. I thought I can trust his daughter with this, and that's why I brought you here. I could arrest TCS and uncover the truth behind the police in a case from 10 years ago, can I? I honestly didn't understand why you'd give this job to a little girl, but I think Celine can do it. You saw me for the first time today, Neil. Do you trust me? It didn't take long to finish the task Mary gave you, and you took it very seriously, too. I know that you'll try your best to find the murderer. You said it yourself, didn't you? It doesn't take a genius to be a detective. The drive is what makes one. The detective with the strongest drive right now at Summerset is you, Selene. And wouldn't that be why Mary wants you to crack this case? That's right. I'll find who did it, and I'll reveal the truth behind everything that happened. And then you can come back. You could come back upstairs, Charlotte. That's the spirit. You want to ask me some questions, but I somehow just blabbered on about myself. We don't have much time. I could still answer some questions. Who knows? Maybe I'll have some information that you'll find valuable. We don't have much time, but I could still... Okay. About the poison. I want to ask you about the poison used against the victim 10 years ago. Recently, I found out that this poison has something to do with a flower called Black Daturas. I was wondering what you thought of that as a doctor. You were looking into that poison? Impressive, and you're right. I found some information about how the poison works. Seriously? I've been at work for the last 10 years. The Black Datura only exists in theory. Not much is known about the plant. You can say that it's an artificially mutated version of the Datura. Instead of blooming in white, it blooms a black flower. Genetically speaking, it's unable to reproduce. But it can act as a vector that can compound with some chemicals. Mary, I think you should think as if you're explaining this to a 5-year-old. Well, think of it as a school bus. I'm sorry for missing that. Okay. A very toxic chemical gets on the school bus. While it's on the bus, it can't get off. The bus keeps the poison inside for a long time, and after a certain time, the poison gets off the bus. And if this happens at the human body, as soon as the poison gets off the bus, it's spreads to the entire body. If it exceeds the fatal dose, you would die instantly. Okay, so it's a artificial plant. So it's artificially made, probably by the mafia, I'm guessing. Normally, the effect of poison like that is very strong. It would not take long to kill a person. But if you use the Black Datura flower as the school bus, so to speak, can delay the poison from being activated. This school bus is a temperature-sensitive factor. So if the body's temperature drops after death, it will absorb the poison in the body again. And that's why toxicology tests couldn't detect anything. Do you follow? That's just like the autopsy result from 10 years ago. It took a long time for the victim to die after his last meal, and no poisons are found. Charlotte, that's amazing. How do you learn that the Black Datura was used as an ingredient? It was a coincidence. I happened to buy a botany book before, and the page on the Black Datura had some sort of printing error. Later, I remembered that I lent this book to your father, Kelvin Foster. I thought this must have something to do with the case, so that's why I spent time trying to find out more about the Black Datura. I couldn't make it as black as the real thing with the instruments I had on hand, so I can't be 100% sure. Wait, can I take a look at that book for a second? Yes, of course. Page from the paperback, I'm sure. It's just like the pattern I found at the cipher on the back of the hardcover, and the one on the newspaper. The two books share the same content then. If I know what it says about Black Datura, I can match the alphabets in the same location one by one to crack the cipher. So that was why the page on the hardcover was ruined. Charlotte, this page has the same pattern on the cipher on the newspaper. Remember the ones he says demanded to be cracked? Are you sure? It really is. I thought it could have been a cipher, but I've tried for 10 years. I still couldn't. Just gonna pull out camping chair. Well, enjoy your time here. Really hope you enjoy your time. You know what would be awesome? What? Tell me, what would be awesome? It really would have been quicker to research it from scratch than to crack the cipher. This clue isn't enough. But if I guess right, I can learn what alphabets match with what using the codebook page from Khafra. Maybe you crack the cipher by using your research to restore the page on the Black Datura. Right, that'll be like a crossword puzzle in Pose. But that's a big problem. I lost it. The Datura research papers are gone. In this room? Somebody robbed this place some time ago. I think the robber took it with some of their stuff. Oh no. Sorry, I never thought of it solving that way. I can't believe I forgot that all of this was worthless. Don't be sorry about it. Discovering how the poison works is really great anyway. It's just my hypothesis that it might crack the cipher anyway. All experiments and research are based on hypotheses. And you need to apply the hypotheses to real life to find out anything. I don't have it on text, but I will try to remember what I had. While you're at the docks, I'll try to recover as much information I had on the Black Datura. Please. But could I have the samples you showed me? Of course, here. Thanks. We're really getting a bit closer to the answer. So this is how Brunswick wishes came through. Oh, by the way, I saw a sensor full of Black Datura petals. A sensor? You know, the ones they use in churches, some white rope people hold like this, and... Did you know that people will burn Black Daturas in a sensor like that? I haven't heard of it being used like that. If anything, I don't think people should. It will probably cause a strong psychedelic effect on whoever is near the sensor. A psychedelic effect? Where do you find a sensor? So it's like hidden bar? It's a bit of a long story. Alright, so there was a space like that inside a hotel room. Do you think someone might have used that to kill Samantha Mayer? Using the smoke to put her into a trance and all? Yeah, that could have happened, but I have a different idea. A different idea? What's that? You remember the Jewel of Atlantis? The Viking Prince treasure fountain pen? Of course I do. Officer Gregory burned it, though. Viking Princess in Atlantis. Now that's a little nonsense. That thing is not treasure. Of course, however, what if we can get someone a bit tipsy? And then put them in a trance with the smoke, and then put the treasure on auction. Are you saying people could have been tricked into believing the fountain pen was a treasure so that they would pay fortunes to buy it in an auction? I can't believe people can be that stupid. It might be possible, if you burn enough petals, that is. A copy of the Mona Lisa was hung on the wall at the bar. Do you think it would have been possible to trick people into believing it was the real thing? Definitely. That's ridiculous. Then all the paintings on the wall were fancy paintings without any sort of artistic value, all prepared by Peritus Dextra. Summerset. Somehow this town doesn't stop shocking me. Yeah, but some things need to be set straight. We don't have much time, but I can still answer some questions. Okay, so it's the same thing. Okay, about Carter. If Carter is the real murderer from 10 years ago and owns the Summerset dock, that means that all the victims like Scarlet West were in Cartwell's plans from the get-go. Yeah, and that's why he could have pulled the murder announcement off. I'm guessing that he was also behind the Glaucus members being addicted to drugs. What kind of boss would do that to their employees? For what? Glaucus was preparing to blow the whistle on the illegal business at the docks. If they all become drug addicts, they won't be able to do that, and that really did happen too. But still, if he loses that many employees at once, wouldn't that also damage his business? Employees can be replaced. It's not like the dock workers needed special qualifications anyway. The owner must have thought of it as a way to accept small losses and stay in the business for longer. Owner, more like criminal scum. Yeah, he is a criminal scum, that fucking asshole. Maybe he's using this chance to liquidate anyone who knows about the secret behind his business. Then, are you saying Tisa's actually trying to kill all the Glaucus members? Lunatic! We'll get away with this. We're not gonna let that bastard do that to us. If that is really the case, you need to find the murder what the police does and let the press and from other towns know. He won't leave the docks until his job is done. Now is the only chance. I'll go. I'll find who the real murderer is. I won't let anyone. Nobody's getting killed from now on. We don't have much time. Okay. Connor Carter. I want to ask you about Connor Carter's cops. You're the only one here who saw the scene, Charlotte. Can you tell me more about what you saw when you first found the corpse? Of course. It was around 5. I was coming back after looking for some clean water I was going to use in an experiment. I was walking through an alley and I saw a black tarp spread over a sewer gate. Oh, great. And I thought I saw a person underneath the tarp. When I lifted it, I found a corpse. I already told you about the corpse, what the corpse looked like when I found it. The wound wasn't interrupted. It looked like it went all around the neck. I also found that a wire must have been wrapped around the neck and then tightened from behind. It wasn't a huge wound. There was a resistant wound. It must mean that the murderer hit Connor Carter from behind. I didn't have time to take off his clothes, so I couldn't check but if there were any blood clots on his back or buttocks, but I couldn't see any on the bottom of the body anyway. Oh, I would check for blood clots because that lets me roughly estimate when someone died or when the body was thrown away. Time of death, okay. If Cardwell was in disguise among dock workers, Connor Carter couldn't have died later than this morning. I guess so too. Nobody left the docks after our shifts started. In the early morning, I don't think that's very likely. And normally, bodies that have been dead for 10 or more hours would have been severely rot. You're saying the body hasn't started rotting? Yeah, the body was lying down on the grate. It was as it if it was there for 10 or more hours, the backside would have had an imprint on the grate. The marks I found on my arms and leg didn't seem that deep, though. As a forensic doctor, can you give me an estimate as to how long Connor Carter's corpse could have been there for? I can't give you an educated opinion based on that shot look, but I'll say that the body was only there for about 5 to 6 hours. That's strange. If Carter was here all day, he could not have killed Connor Carter in the alleyway. Are you sure nobody went in and out of the docks? We have 2 drivers who deliver shipments outside the docks. What? And one of them must be it. We have reason to believe one of them was following his usual work routine. And the other is Oliver Frank. He was killed today. We have reason to believe he's called Derek. What he does is to transport the seafood we import at the docks to the facilities where they are processed. Then he ships the processed food back to the dock. Since Derek's truck was full of shipment he was supposed to deliver, I think it's fair to assume that he didn't do anything else outside. He just did his job. But he could have snuck some shipments in or something, no? We don't have a lot of stock going around on the docks. I don't think he would have done that. But since nobody actually knows if he was busy working all day or not, you have a point. He might not be completely innocent. What if there's a secret pathway somewhere on the docks that nobody knows about? The floor is made out of concrete. It wouldn't have been possible. We also checked the fences. There were any holes. And taking a ship wouldn't be possible either. The Summerset docks were designed for shipments on large ships. So taking a small boat that wouldn't be noticeable. It's not impossible, but it would be very difficult. And even more difficult if whoever did that tried not to get caught while doing it. According to Charlotte's opinion, the murderer must have left the docks by noon and have been in the alley. Sorry to interrupt you, I want to be sure. Let's say that was just my conjecture. Oh, okay, so according to Charlotte's conjecture, the murderer would have left the docks and come back at least once today. If you're sure that nobody left during the day, as of now, I got to say that Derek, the truck driver, looks the most suspicious. I don't exactly know what security protocol there is like because I've never been there. Maybe a detective can find out what details we were missing. Beat me to it. I'll do my best. Thanks. We'll help you as much as we can. Now that we found Connor Carter's blood on the wire, it's impossible to consider the murders that happened inside and outside of the docks completely separate. How did the murder go in and out of the docks without being noticed by anybody? I should see if there are any errors or loopholes in the entry logs at the dock. We don't have much time. Last question. Come to think of it, there was someone who was looking for you. Mary, out of pills. Please, I'm waiting for you. Pills. He said he's out of pills and everyone's waiting for you. There must be a problem then. Did the guy tell you anything else? I don't think so. He didn't look good. And Ben said it might have been withdrawals. If you're shaking like that, he had caught a bad cold, then you're probably right. I'm sorry, I should have given them the pills, but you know what happened. It's not your fault, Neil. Don't apologize for things like that. It's bad to take the pills at regular intervals, but things like that... Things like this means you'll have to wait. You know, these things take a long time, a really long time. So you're gonna keep helping them, Charlotte? I don't think the damage done can be fully healed, but I can't give up now. Someone needs to repent, and someone needs to help them. I'm a doctor under an oath after all. Charlotte, after everything's done, I'll help you too. If you want to do that, go study a bit more and come back with a college degree. But I can't keep in contact with all of them with just a single representative like this. I don't have any more work that I can leave to underqualified helpers. I don't think they'll be fine just relying on illegal prescriptions anymore, though. I'll say the thing you need first to help them isn't employing a detective with a college degree, but you coming back to society as a free woman. Then you'll be able to make the vaccine, and you'll also get to report this incident to more doctors. You know that, don't you? You can't solve this problem on your own. Exactly, I know what you mean. How do you think it can come back, and when? If Cardwell is sent to jail and Summerset turns back to what it was like before, But would that be possible? I'll make that happen, I swear. Turning Summerset back to the way it was, you know? 10 years have passed already. Arresting Cardwell won't do the trick. But you said the police only turned the street 10 years ago, didn't you? That would mean that it would be possible to revert the damage done like that. That's very hopeful. I don't really like to think that way, but maybe it really is possible. Kevin Foster's gone, but his daughter's here. That will come back soon too, once we solve the case. Yeah, I hope so too. Charlie's close to revealing what the mystery poison is. That'll help crack the cipher that hasn't been cracked for the last 10 years. If I can guard Cardwell as soon as we get to the docks, I should follow Neil and head to the dockyard. We'll catch a murderer there. Well, should we get going? They're all waiting for us. Yes, we should hurry. Ben, you coming with me, right? A good assistant should always accompany the detective. Right, let's go. Okay. Okay, we are at the docks. The docks. Guess it wouldn't be possible to sneak in. The bodies of your colleagues. Are they still there? Yeah. I thought we should leave the corpses as we found them, at least until the cops can come. There are some people there. Are those the Glaucus? That's right. Hey guys, I'm back. Hey, what's the police? They're not the police, they're detectives. So her name's Celine Foster. Hi, I'm the detective assistant Ben Clark. Hey, I'm Terry Wilson. Wait, no. What, a detective? I told you to get the cops here. Mary vouched for our detective, Celine. Have some faith in her. We're not in the mood to play detective with some kids. I ordered the police come and take a look, to be honest. Neil, when are the cops coming? The cops are alright, but first, come on, trust me. Stop messing about. Go and get the cops. The cops! The cops aren't coming. I told them 2 people are dead and they wouldn't listen. What? You said you're Terry Wilson? Can the rest of you tell me your names? Derek White. Aaron Smith. No introductions? I'm Toby Palmer. It would be such a shocker that the most innocent looking out of all of them, Toby Palmer, is Cardwell. I swear. It would be like the greatest twist. I'm just saying. Good. I heard that you were busy doing your job at the docks and found 2 of your co-workers dead after a shift was over. That's right. There was an explosion in the warehouse and Derek... An explosion? Well, Terry said someone set up a trap in the warehouse. What trap? He just made that up. What? You don't even know what happened. You didn't keep your trap shut. Anyway, there was an explosion at the warehouse first. Then you found the corpses, right? Yes. We all gathered in the warehouse around 7 after hearing the explosion, and then Derek found them. After going back to the quarters after his shift ended, he brought us all here. I've heard that the 2 bodies were found. Where was the other one found at? The maintenance room. We couldn't find Thomas, so we went there and we found his dead body there. 4 people who heard the explosion and got to the warehouse. Mr. White found truck driver Oliver Frank's body at the quarters after coming back to the docks on the truck. Then you all went to the maintenance room to find out that Thomas Clark Stark had also died. If we want to follow the timeline, the explosion should be investigated first. But I can wait until we take a look at the bodies first before it decays even more. Mr. Derek, can you show me to the quarters? Alright, it's to the right. I should head to the quarters to look for the scene. Okay, it's to the right. Move. 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 Maintenance room. Okay, should head to the quarters first, not the maintenance room. Okay. My bad. Quarters. Okay, Summerset Docks. Quarters. Oh, right, be careful. The floor is wet. Slippery. Do you know what happened here? The murderer must have dumped a bucket of water or something. It was like this when we came inside after our shift. A bucket of water? That could have been an attempt to erase evidence. He doesn't seem to be wounded otherwise. He wasn't choked to death like Connor Carter then. Is it because of the water? The corpse in the scene is spotless. I can't see any resistant wound or blood cuts either. It almost looks like the dead man is sleeping. The scene is too clean. This is just like how Bruce's body was found 10 years ago on the beach. Did the murderer use the Datura poison that way? Okay, so it must be poison. He might be poisoned. Okay, so nothing else I could see. Is this the poison stew that Oliver Frank allegedly ate? It looked normal enough. How do you know that was poisoned? Look carefully what's on the table. there's something that looks like poison. Wait, it's datura. Is that the same thing you showed to Mary? You said this chef cooked the stew? Why involve me in all this? You say you wanted stew for dinner. I only cooked it in the pot, never taken it outside the kitchen. Then the murderer must have taken the stew from the kitchen to the quarters, yes? I guess. Stealing is a big deal for a murder, is it? Okay. You gotta check the kitchen later. Okay. A wheelchair. It's Thomas. His legs weren't good. Didn't you say that Thomas' Stark's body was found in the maintenance room, though? Why would the wheelchair be here instead of the maintenance room? I'm not sure. The wheelchair is a bit wet, just like the floor. Maybe there was some kind of important evidence on the wheelchair? So Oliver, he was poisoned with the stew, right? That's a little crap. That's regular, good, old, perfect stew. No, I'm not saying you poisoned it. Anyone could have set aside some stew in a dish and then poison it. This poison would take hours to take effect. Was Mr. Frank alone in the quarters for that long? Well, I think you should ask that to Toby. Me? You said you saw Oliver and Thomas go inside the quarters before he clocked out. Well, I did, but the two of them went inside the quarters together? Can you tell me more about it? So around 6 in the evening, I went to the maintenance room to clean it up and ran into Oliver. He said Thomas seemed to have caught the flu or something. He wasn't doing well, so he said he would be quarantining him in the quarters for a bit and call for the doctor. That's why he rolled him on the wheelchair into the quarters. Shouldn't he have sent him here straight to the hospital than leaving him here in this shipping container? I asked Oliver that too, but he said it's still contagious disease and it might not be a good idea to send him to the hospital. Has anyone else seen the two after 6 p.m.? I don't think so. Derek only found the body around 7:10. Around an hour would have taken, even if he was poisoned as soon as he came inside quarters. The datura poison could have worked in that time. You idiots, the murderer was waiting for them in the quarters. He poisoned them when nobody was looking. He was hiding in quarters and then fed Oliver Frank the poison soup. Then he brought Thomas Stark's body back to the maintenance room? Exactly. But you said Oliver Frank brought Thomas Stark to the quarters to quarantine a flu patient, right? Isn't it strange that he would then suddenly have some stew? It doesn't look like he was forcefully fed any either. How are you sure he wasn't forcefully poisoned? That was a racket, and the attack from behind covers his nose and mouth. Easy work, isn't it? What? Why are you looking at me like that? You're very knowledgeable about how to poison a person, huh? Yeah, that's how you kill Oliver, right? Huh? Own up to it, Aaron. What? That's bull! Anyone that Don knows about that. Well, there's something that kind of bothered me. Aaron, when we got off work and I hadn't heard the explosion yet, you ran into me. You were standing in front of the quarters, right? And what does that have to do with anything? Well, I'm not sure if you're trying to go inside the quarters or if you're trying to leave the quarters. You know? You're the chef, Aaron. So I guess Oliver wouldn't have thought that was strange if you asked him to have some of your stew. You know what? That is very suspicious. He does look like evil with this whole look. What kind of nonsense? Are you crazy? You're suspecting me because I was staying? And why were you going into the maintenance room when we were about to get off work? Huh? When you ran into me, I saw you walking to me from the maintenance room. Why in God's name did you go there knowing it was empty? That's only because I remember that I forgot to clean the maintenance room. The door's locked. And then I thought to myself, oh, Tom has the flu. That's why I didn't clean it today. And then I was walking back. Are you seriously thinking they would fall for that? Fall for it? Are you saying that I'm lying now? Wait. So why are you standing in front of the quarters, Aaron? That's not important. Didn't you just... Toby told us why he went to the maintenance room. I think it's only fair that you tell us why you were there. Yeah, why were you there? Because I was worried about Thomas. Worry? You worried about him? How did you know that Thomas Stark would be at the quarters? Because I asked that for Toby. Surely you remember, I asked you that when I was looking for Terry. I asked you, have you seen this bastard around? And then you told me that I don't know where he went, but Thomas Stark is at the quarters because he caught the flu. Yeah. Oh, like you cared when other people got sick. Since when do you care so much about us? What? Hey, dipshit, you weren't even doing your job. Wandering around in the warehouse and blew something up. I'll shut my trap if I were you. I didn't do it. Then tell us, why do you try to blow the warehouse up? I told you over and over I didn't blow it up. Are you saying that the wall blew itself up? Exactly, you said it, man. Why you keep asking me if you already know why? What do you mean, why? You're pulling it right out of your ass, that's why. Toby, you shouldn't be hounding me like that. This bastard's the one we should be going after. We need to know what in God's name he was doing in front of that door. That door? Is there a door in the warehouse that has to do with something with the explosion? I can't tell you. Why can't you tell us, Terry? Why? Because you'll all be pissed off. Of course they'll be pissed off their daughter turns to be a murderer. I'm not a murderer. And tell us the truth. I can't because you're all going to be pissed off. You fucking bastard. They're already pissed off, dude. They're already pissed off. Stop it. Aren't you ashamed in front of kids? Should a good detective say in a situation like this? Am I good here too? I got an idea. Let's first check out the maintenance room. Then me, Aaron, and Toby will wait outside. The four of you go see what happened in the warehouse. Why leave me out? You two are gonna chew me out. You say you won't tell us what you did because you will be angry. Alright then, we'll give you some space. What about Neil then? What about him? Since you might have been the murderer, we can send you off on your own. Man, I told you I'm not a murderer. You just talked a bunch of nonsense. I wouldn't even answer our questions. Do you really expect us to trust you now without any proof? This is all we can do for you now. If you still think this is too unfair, even I might have to start suspecting you. Why does that priest get coddled like that, huh? Aaron, I know you're angry, but let's just calm down for a second. None of us four have a good alibi. Even if we tell each other what we're doing, we can't trust if we're listening to the truth. Singling a person out won't be of much help. It's best to have a third party listen and find out who the liar is. Isn't it right, Miss Detective? That's right. We don't have to do this now. I'll find out who murdered your colleagues. Man, why are we trusting this kid to begin with? After I heard you argue, I felt that knowing what kind of organization that Glaucus is would have been useful for my investigation. Do you mind telling me what kind of work do you do exactly at the docks? And where in particular do you work every day? Oh, that I can help you with that. Before Coroner quit, the 8 of us were divided into the yard team, the truck team, and the indoor team. Coroner and I operated the cranes, and Toby was assistant driver / mechanic. That's the yard team. After Coroner left, I had to work double time. Toby is doing all the maintenance work and cleaning now that he's gone. Maintenance work and cleaning. What exactly do you mean by that? Well, it's mostly the everyday stuff we use, so that's really the maintenance room, the staff bathroom, and the canteen. I'm sure it's a lot of work, though. If he was the only one doing all the cleaning, did Toby have all the keys to those places? Yeah. Oh, yeah, Toby, you're very suspicious. You have all the keys. Yeah, he has a master key that opens all the places in the docks. Toby probably has a master key that can open the maintenance room and the canteen door. So why is it that the maintenance room door is locked and he can't just open it? He has a key. So wearing a giant's witch hat would be awesome, I think. It probably would. I could see if I could add that, for special occasions, but I'm a redesign of my whole avatar is gonna spend a lot of money, and I can't afford that. I just got a new PC. Okay. Oliver and Derek drive trucks to ship things or do some other work. That's the truck team. Oliver wasn't exactly working for the docks. He technically worked for the department store uptown and got some commission from us for doing our job. Even after business at the dock dried up, he talked to the folks at the department store to help us out. He did a lot for us. Usually he drove to the main gate and he would load the goods there too, so he was good friends with old Thomas. Wait, I have a question. Didn't you say that the main gate can only be opened by pressing a button in the maintenance room? Then how did Derek come inside the docks? I heard that he came back around 7:10, then found the body. Oh, Derek has an emergency key. Oh my god, he has a key. His emergency key opened the gate by himself. Derek's job means that he often has to clock out later than we do. And he also don't want to make old Thomas wait for him all the time, so he gave Derek the emergency key we had. Derek White had the only emergency key, so he often had to clock out later than the rest of the docs. Since he, okay. If he was back around 7:10, he wasn't that late today. You could say he was almost on time. Once it gets delayed, he could even come back around 9 or 10. Okay, I understand. Alright, I'll continue. Then the rest of the indoor team consists of Thomas, who dealt with all the paperwork in the maintenance room, Aaron the chef, and Terry the manager. Aaron is just chef, but once we started running short on hands, he started taking care of some of the other work too. Does he also have the kitchen key if he's the chef? Oh no, the kitchen key is kept in the maintenance room. So if someone gets the key at the maintenance room, they could have brought the stew from the kitchen. Yeah. If we knew this would happen, we would have kept the key somewhere else. We could have seen this coming. Don't be so hard on yourself. I'm sorry I interrupted. Please continue. Okay. Where was I? Oh, right, Terry. Terry just does quality checks and packaging, and Terry takes care of the rest of the machines. Terry's the manager here, so we all get around 7 for a daily review, then we get dinner and all go home. But for some reason, Terry didn't show up for the daily review. So we were looking for him, wondering where he went. Then we heard a large explosion coming from the warehouse. You found Terry Wilson there, didn't you? Yeah, he said he happened to find something about TCS Cypher there. The Cypher? You mean the one on the newspaper? He came across it in the warehouse somehow, and he was looking into it. And the fire hydrant just blew up. That's what Terry said. The fire hydrant exploded? Don't tell me you actually believe in that load of crap. No, nobody believes anybody here. We're stuck together through thick and thin. 2 of us are dead now in this. He said he can't tell us what he did in the warehouse because he'll all be pissed off. What was with that? Yeah, it beats me how I could act like that in a situation like this. But that's just how Terry is. He could say he's a bit self-centered. Can I beat him up if he still doesn't talk when we're at the warehouse? No violence, please. I'll try to make him cooperate. Maybe a little bit of cozying up will help. I don't know detectives have to call off suspects like that. Anyway, that's what the guys here work on. Other than 3 dead people and Neil, the 4 of these people who don't have a good alibi. Just as I found the quarters don't tell the full story, I need more information. I should go to the maintenance room, but the second body was found to collect more information. Neil, I'd like to go to the maintenance room now. Can you show me where it is? With pleasure. Okay, I know where the maintenance room is. Walk past it, so let's just go back. Over here. Celine, should I put the wire back where I found it? Oh, that would be nice of you. So this is where you found it? Right. I think it was somewhere around here, right, Aaron? Yeah, that's right. Aaron came to the maintenance room first after he found Oliver dead in quarters. He noticed Thomas wasn't with us. Did he know that Thomas would be in the maintenance room? How would I know? He worked here, so I just figured he would be here. I see. I mean, that makes sense. Do your job, stop asking stupid questions. Okay, I'll do that. The wound on the neck matches the pattern on the wire. The shape of the wound suggests the victim was choked from behind. There are traces of urine on the body's pants and the floor underneath his buttocks. I suppose he seeped after his death. This means that Thomas Stark was killed right here instead of anywhere else. So Thomas Stark didn't scream or resist all the while the murderer was carrying him all the way to the maintenance room? He had the flu. Maybe he was so sick that he couldn't even shout. But still, it would have been dumb luck for the criminal. He couldn't have known that the target caught the flu. Well, if he didn't catch the flu, it wouldn't have been difficult for Cardwell to take down an old man. I don't think carrying him would have been difficult. What? I'm still not sure it's the reason Cardwell took the risk of getting caught while carrying him all the way to the maintenance room than to kill him. And so you're not sure why the murderer had to bring him here and then kill him, right? That's right. It would have been more reasonable to kill him with Oliver Frank at the quarters. What do you think, Ben? Do you have any idea why he might have done that? Maybe he wanted to stall anyone from finding the bodies? Or he might have not wanted the 2 bodies to be found in the quarters together. A body would be much heavier than a living person. What if he took him to the maintenance room while he was alive and then killed him? That still doesn't make sense. If the body is much heavier, why didn't he use the wheelchair? It's much more convenient to use the wheelchair, and the dock workers wouldn't have found it that odd, even if they ran into him. Maybe it has a symbolic meaning, I'm not sure. Victim murdered in the maintenance room and the wheelchair abandoned in the quarters. Something doesn't match up here. It must mean something to the case. Is this the record Neil Mansion, the one Tom Stark kept? So the only people who came inside the docks after 9 p.m. were 2 truck drivers. After Derek White left the docks at 10:05, he didn't come back until the shift was over. And the last record is 5:50, where Oliver Frank returned to the docks. Maybe he could have let Toby Palmer know after discovering Thomas was ill and took him to quarters after that. Clock in. Oliver arrives. Oliver departs. Oliver arrives. Oliver departs. Derek. Oliver arrived. Oliver. When did Derek leave? Okay. I mean, when did Derek arrive? It's just he clocked in at 9, so he arrives at like 9 and then he only clocks out at like that. Okay. He took meticulous records for a person who had the flu. You know, do you think Palmer's gonna miss something while he's keeping those records? I don't think so. Old Tom was an old man, but he was the most careful of all of us. He's never made a mistake from what I remember. This game seems interesting. It is interesting. It's also the first game the devs have made, so it's a good game for their first game, especially. And it's very... I still don't know what the mystery, like who the culprit is. Like, they say that Cardwell's the murderer, right? But then there's someone behind Cardwell. Like Purchase Dexter is like somehow is important or something. I'm so confused. What about handwriting? Are you sure it's his handwriting? What do you mean, am I sure? I'm asking if you think someone could have tampered with the records that made it look like the victim wrote it. I don't think that's very likely. The handwriting is the same to Thomas. Alright, all of these records are completely true and to be trusted. Only Oliver and Derek White came inside the docks through the main gate. Oliver Frank passed the gate around 5 times. Derek White didn't pass through the main gate after he left in the morning, at least until the shift ended. If I was dropping a fork just like that, Cardwell's name is carved into the handle. He's trying to let people know about himself just like he did with Con Carter. He killed 3 grown-up men over a span of a few hours. How is Cardwell even capable of doing something like this? Maybe he was mad that police spread misinformation? He would have realized by now that Ed Payne didn't kill Scarlet West and decided to take matters into his own hands. I mean, it's true that police are doing ridiculous things. They try to frame TCS for murdering Scarlet West too. But still, leaving critical evidence like this behind will get you caught in no time. If you didn't lift the wire here like this, or actually if you didn't use the same wire twice to kill Connor Carter and Thomas Stark, we still wouldn't have known that TCS was in disguise in the docks. No, that's not the important thing for Cardwell. He's just doing this to brag about how many people he can kill and taunt the police. But wouldn't he still be worried that he might get caught? Why would he? He said the cops couldn't arrest him for the last 10 years. I bet he's all cocky now, thinking the cops would never get to him. Maybe that's what 10 years on the run does to you. It's really difficult to understand what a criminal thinks like. It is what it is. Okay, that's it for the crime scenes. Thomas Stark was murdered right here in the maintenance room. His pants and the floor underneath his buttocks were wet with urine. And I don't think it's likely that the body was moved here after he was killed elsewhere like the quarters. So the murderer carried an old man who had the flu on his way back all the way here and then killed him. It is strange. I'm guessing the murderer had a reason that Thomas had to be killed inside a maintenance room. Strange. Toby, are you sure you didn't see anything? I mean, you didn't see him carry the guy without the wheelchair? What? Why are you singling me out? None of you saw them because you were working. You work outside the buildings. You're most likely to have seen them. I've seen the murderer taken to quarters at 6 on a wheelchair. So how couldn't you have seen him come back? I don't always stay around the maintenance room. I went to clean the kitchen after I talked to Oliver. Stop fighting. I'm starting to piece together what happened. Really? Who the murderer? Celine, it's too early to jump to conclusions. We still need more about the explosion in the warehouse and what Terry has to say about it. Don't you have enough information already? What I did was irrelevant. What do you mean irrelevant? It's definitely not irrelevant. You're hiding something, aren't you? I'll go to the warehouse and find out more information, and then I'll be able to figure out who the murderer is. No. What's the matter with you? If you did something wrong, you can just tell us. So it really won't work that way, huh? We can't leave Neil here. Absolutely not. Now that we know one of us might be the murderer, nobody should act alone. I won't be acting alone. There's 2 detectives right here. Those 2 are still about young. Hey, might I remind you that I'm also an adult? Alright. Oh, then should we all head to the warehouse? Let's get going. The warehouse to the right is the largest building. Get to the warehouse, collect more information. Okay. Okay, sorry. I didn't mean to click on that. My bad. Let me just speed through this. Da 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 da. How do I leave? How do I leave? I need to move. I need to walk up. Okay. Okay, all the way to the right. Okay. Right, we're at the warehouse. So this is the warehouse. It's just as large as I thought. Here's where the explosion happened. It's right there. What's this door? Where'd there be a door inside the walls? We have never seen this door too. We didn't even know that it was there until the explosion took a part out of the wall. It's closed shut too. So I see, so it was hidden. I wonder where it leads to. What? Why are you looking at me? What do you mean, why? You need to explain what you did here for an hour. Yeah, now the other guys are outside. It's time you told us what happened. What even is this door? I told you, I don't know. How would I know? Why do you blow up the wall then? I didn't blow up the wall. I threw out the fire hydrant cabinet to get this. Then it blew up. These papers. Someone was trying to crack the cipher from the newspaper. Wait, there was a gun inside the fire hydrant? Why didn't you tell us about that? Because you all go nuts on me if I told you I had a gun. Is this gun in the papers all yours, Terry? What? No way, I've never seen it until today. Now, how do you know that you'd be in the fire hydrant? So, well, I don't know what you're getting at. You're the most suspicious person here now. No, listen to me. I'll tell you what happened. It was an accident. An accident? Who wanders off during their shift and accidentally opens a fire hydrant? That Connor. Connor? Are you talking about Connor Carter, the Glaucus member? I just did what his map said. See? Take a look at it. Is this the floor plan for this warehouse? The floor plan marks locations like a treasure map. And there's a scroll near the wall where the explosion happened that reads October 13th, 6. Did Connor give you this floor plan? You could say that. I heard that Connor left the docks around 2 weeks ago. Can you tell me exactly how he found this? He just left it in one of the clothes he left at the quarters. Is that enough? You should have told the rest of us about it. That's right. Why did you keep it to yourself? And blow up the wall, too. That it was because there might be drugs in here. I wanted to find it and report. Drugs? Man, I thought... If you thought there could have been drugs here, you should really have told us. I'm the manager. I try to deal with dangerous things myself. When are you going to start making sense? You're accusing me because this has nothing to do with the murder. I was here around 6 looking through the warehouse. I have an alibi. Just because the floor plan said 6 p.m. doesn't mean that you were here at 6 p.m. too. What? You said the explosion happened at 7, didn't you? Wouldn't it be the case that you were busy murdering the 2 victims at 6 and got here later than time? Nonsense. Do I look like a person to kill people? One thing you look for sure is that you're not very trustworthy. Not trustworthy? What can I even... If you want us to trust you, you should tell us the truth and only the truth. All lies have holes. I hope you don't believe that you can hide those holes. There's a reason why I didn't want Neil to tag along. So that I can kill 2 people and run away. What are you even talking about? Don't say things like that. I'm telling you, no funny business anymore. Okay, I'll tell you everything. Don't kick off on me, alright? You told me to tell you the truth. Man, is this guy a nutcase? How do you guys even work with this guy? Beats me. We'll decide to be angry or not after he told us what happened. I pushed dope. Connor got the shipment. I sold them to others. What? Hey, you told me to tell you the truth. So I'm doing it. Don't scream at me. I was wondering where the drugs were being smuggled through. It was you and Connor? How can you do that? You saw how Glaucus fell. Saw it yourself. You piece of shit. Whatever, I didn't kill anybody. Do you even know how much trouble Connor put me through? He set up all the deals and dips like that. Where the hell am I supposed to find the product? You had a problem because Connor, who was supposed to bring you the drugs, disappeared. Yeah, all I have left was this map thing. It's the only thing I could do, or else they'll kill me. Then suddenly the wall blows up, and they say 2 people have been killed. I'm going insane, man. I'm a victim too. Best keep your mouth shut, piece of shit. I'm not even joking. I really think I should put some sense into him. When this case is solved, you'll have to take responsibility for all of this. This wasn't what I expected, but one thing for sure, Terry Wilson isn't the murderer. Right? I knew it. The detective's right. You say one of the cops. Why do you think so? Honestly, I can't trust him anymore. There are 2 reasons why I think Terry isn't the murderer. Look at here at the floor plan. It doesn't tell anyone to open the fire hydrant door. Of course, it does mark the time at 6 p.m., but there are other memos and marks in other parts of the warehouse too. I'm guessing that there might have been a device locked within the fire hydrant. The floor plan was explaining how it can be unlocked properly. But Terry didn't really read through the floor plan, so that's why he came here at 6 p.m. to open the hydrant. Since it would have taken an hour to find the parts and key to unlock the device, the explosion would have happened at 7 p.m. Right, that's exactly. How do you know? It was out of no cause. But it does make it clear that Terry Wilson was here from 6 to 7. I don't think it would have taken an entire hour. At least look at what the floor plan says. Hey, did you guys give it a shot? Did you? It took long, at least for me. And the second reason is why I think he isn't a murderer is because Terry Wilson does not have a motive to kill Connor Carter. He did say that Connor Carter disappearing gave him some trouble. What? Why do you say kill Connor? Connor? He died? What are you talking about? Oh, come to think of it, you wouldn't know. You have been inside the port all this time. You're joking, right? He's dead? Dead? Connor Carter was found dead in the alleyway in the city around 5 p.m. today. He was killed with the same way that killed Thomas Stark. Nonsense! No way! Terry, you said you were close with Connor Carter. Can you think of anyone who wanted to kill him? Anyone? Anyone who had met with Connor Carter and killed him? I don't know. Connor, if I could have, I would have. Damn. So other than Terry Wilson, the remaining suspects are Aaron Smith, Derek White, and Toby Palmer. None of those 3 were good friends with Connor, from what I remember. I got it. Aaron never got along with Connor, did he? That prick was a real clean freak. I tell you what. He picked fights saying Connor's dirty smells and whatnot. Was Aaron Smith really that obsessed with cleanliness? Yeah, it's a real bastard, I'm telling you. A real piece of work. Wouldn't it have been more difficult for him to secretly meet Connor if they were on bad terms? Well, he could have blackmailed him. If Aaron Smith's the murderer, why do you leave the docks and come back? Well, how would I know? If I knew that, I might as well be the criminal. So, is Derek the only remaining possibility? Did he really kill Connor? Yeah, he's the one. Only one. We didn't spend that much time on this, did we? I knew this would happen. I knew the goddamn ex-con cost us some real trouble. What? Derek White's an ex-con? Shut up, Terry. Derry's not an ex-con. He was just briefly under questioning when a murder happened. You know he wasn't a murderer. You best not run your trap like that. Briefly under questioning, you seriously believe him? An idiot would. I'm not. There must have been something off about him. That's why they had him in for questioning. You said that too, didn't you? Also thought he did it. It's not because he's ex-con, but because nobody else had left the docks. But if you think Derek White could have killed Connor Carter because he was outside of the docks, wouldn't it make more sense he's someone met and killed Oliver Frank, who was also a truck driver outside of the docks? It's strange that he would intentionally wait until Oliver came back to the docks and then kill him right in front of Thomas. Well, maybe he didn't already intend to kill Oliver Frank. Was it trying to kill Oliver Frank? Yeah, he must have wanted to kill Thomas, and suddenly Oliver appears and tries to take him away. So he must have chased after 2 and killed both of them. But even if Derek really chased after Oliver, who was taking his target to the quarters, Derek could have easily killed Thomas while Oliver went to fetch a doctor. He would have been left alone. Why kill both people at the same time? That, I don't know. Maybe he was just a rash person. I've known Derek for more than 10 years. I never thought of him as a rash person. If anything, he's too patient. Well, that's true. He was like that. The murderer could have been hiding his true personality. Now that you mention it, the person who left the dog, what about Toby Palmer? And you know what? I need to take a quick pause here. I am having tummy issues. So I'll take a quick pause here and be back to continue playing this game. Okay, I'm sorry. For those of you who are watching on YouTube, thank y'all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, take care.